Two news stories for you. Breaking news is about Debretsion Gebremichael's interview. Tigray president has been interviewed by the BBC. In response to a question, he talked about talks between Tigray and Ethiopian government. We'll have a look at his his interview in detail. And secondly, US State Department has released a statement about upcoming Ethiopian National Dialogue and prisoners who were taken into custody, who were arrested after the imposition of national emergency, which has been lifted, or it has been proposed to be lifted, because Ethiopian cabinet met, I think 2 days ago. It proposed the lifting of the emergency, and Ethiopian HOPR, House of People's Representatives, is due to approve the decision of Ethiopian federal cabinet in coming days. Firstly was Debretsion Gebremichael, Tigray's president, was interviewed by BBC, I think an hour ago. He responded to several tough questions in the interview. He was asked about TDF's entry in Afar. Why is TDF attacking territories in Afar? He said that the purpose of these attacks is to push Afar forces, Afar militias, Eritreans away from Tigray borders. Secondly, he said that the scope of these operations was limited. Then he was asked a question about talks between Ethiopian government and Tigray. He confirmed in his interview that Tigray government was in talks with Ethiopian government through intermediaries, through shuttle diplomacy. People are in touch with Ethiopian government and Tigray government. And he says that there are signs of improvement. A very positive statement from Debretsion Gebremichael, Tigray's president. He says there are signs of improvement in engagement, indirect engagement between Ethiopian government and Tigray government. But once again, he reiterated Tigray's position. He said that Tigray will not agree on anything less than the withdrawal of all foreign forces from Tigray, withdrawal of Amhara forces, withdrawal of Eritrean forces from Tigray, lifting of siege, resumption of all basic services, communication services, power, and other basic necessities. So he is confirming that Tigray government is in touch with Ethiopian government through Obasanjo. He's not naming Obasanjo, but he mentioned that African Union, UN, Kenya, they are trying to mediate between Tigray government and Ethiopian government. So he is now confirming that a process of indirect talks is underway. We have seen Obasanjo, African Union mediator, visiting Mekelle. He has visited Mekelle, he has visited Afar, Amhara, Kenya. He's been very busy lately. So now through Obasanjo, Tigray and Ethiopian government are in talks. And the more important thing is that Tigray president is saying there are signs of improvement in these engagements. Let's see what happens. But again, he is saying no agreement, no ceasefire until all Amhara forces, all Eritrean forces withdraw from Tigray. That is the difficult part. Humra Volkait Sagade. Will Amhara forces withdraw from these places? They say they won't withdraw even an inch from Volkait, from Humra. The sticking point is going to be Western Tigray in the indirect talks which are underway now. But a good news was that at least Tigray's president is saying that there are some signs of improvement. Secondly, viewers, we have a statement of US State Department issued a few hours ago in response to a question. US State Department spokesperson mentioned two important things regarding Ethiopian conflict. Firstly, he said all parties must be part of Ethiopian national dialogue. So, how can we call it national dialogue if some parties are left out of it? That is why he's saying that all parties must be part of national dialogue. He's saying that Tigray People Liberation Front and other groups, they should also be included in upcoming national dialogue. And secondly, he called for the release of all prisoners who were detained by Ethiopian government after the imposition of national emergency. National emergency has been lifted, or it has been proposed to be lifted. Ethiopian Federal Cabinet has proposed that national emergency be lifted. Ethiopian HOPR is due to approve this decision of the Federal Cabinet. So, emergency will be lifted, but US government wants release of all prisoners who were taken into custody after the imposition of national emergency imposed at the start of November last year. Watch a video clip showing US State Department spokesperson's statement about Ethiopia-Tigray conflict. Thank you for watching.
There have been a few developments in the past few days. Notably, the TPLF saying that they're going to advance into Afar in terms of what they say is activity by pro-government forces. There have been some aid deliveries as well. Can you just give an update on where you see things going and on the U.S. diplomatic engagement?
So I will start by saying that we have long called for an immediate cessation of hostilities, transparent investigation into human rights abuses and violations by all actors, unhindered humanitarian access, and a negotiated resolution to the conflict in Ethiopia. And we've done that because it is a conflict that not only has inflicted humanitarian harm on the people of the region, but also poses a threat to peace and security in the Horn of Africa. Reports of renewed fighting in the Afar region are very concerning, and we repeat our calls to all actors to cease all offensive operations, which also hinder that humanitarian access that we all know is so crucial. We welcome the Council of Ministers' January 26th determination to lift the nationwide state of emergency. We hope this decision will be approved soon by the House of People's Representatives. We call on the government to release all those detained under this state of emergency, and we encourage the active participation of all parties in an inclusive national dialogue that pursues a shared vision for a prosperous and democratic Ethiopia. These discussions should also include commitments to comprehensive, transparent justice mechanisms. As you know, it was last week, just a few days ago, I should say, where Assistant Secretary Fee and Special Envoy Satterfield held productive meetings with Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy and other government officials. The Assistant Secretary and the Special Envoy expressed the U.S. commitment to the unity, the sovereignty, the territorial integrity of Ethiopia. They followed up on President Biden's constructive call with the Prime Minister that took place a couple weeks ago now. They used the opportunity to encourage government officials to seize what we believe is a current opening for peace